A very welcome to all of you. Today our topic is LPP method, or you can say linear programming using simplex method. Previously we have solved a linear programming problem using graphical method. We have also done the formulation of LPP. Any of you if haven't seen the previous videos, you must see the previous videos, then you can easily understand this class. Okay, so let us begin today's topic, that is simplex method. Before I go into the simplex method, I request you to stick to the last of the video, as because it is a bit lengthy one, but we will try to solve in a simple and a short time. Okay, so what is simplex method and why it has arrived? Look, previously we have solved LPP using graphical method. Okay, so what was the problem? I already told you that graphical method have some limitation. So the limitation is when, say, these are the, already in our previous classes I told you that these are the decision variables x1, x2, xn. Okay, so when these decision variables are more than 2, say x3 arrives, okay, then the graphical method becomes inadequate. Okay, and linear programming problem has to be solved by simplex method, or many other methods are there, big M method, two-phase method. Okay, but in our syllabus there is simplex method only. Okay, so we will solve by simplex method. We will know today how to solve what is simplex method. Everything we are going to know in this particular video. Now the simplex method is a algebraic procedure, you can say. Okay, algebraic procedure, and it runs through a series of repetitive operations, progressively approaches an optimal solution. Like in the graphical method, we are solving in a graphical way, and we are approaching the optimal solution by hit and trial method. Okay, checking the different corner points. Okay, now for this simplex method, first I will tell you about the concept of some new terms over here. That is a slack variables, you can say. Slack variables. We are going to use these slack variables in the simplex method. So first of all, what is slack variables? Look, suppose we have an equation 5x1 plus 7x2 less than equal to 75. For solving LPP using simplex method, we have to convert this equation, inequality, this is the inequality equation, into equality one. So we have to add some variables which are known as slack variables, like say s1 equal to 75. Okay, this s1 is an additional variable and we call it as a slack variable. Okay, this one s1. Okay, now what does this s1 denotes? It says it is the difference by which 5x1 plus 7x2 falls short of 75. Look, say 5 is less than 8. Okay, how much? Say in this case it is, if we add plus 3, then it becomes equal to 8. So you can say this x as, say, s1. So we can write 5 plus s1 plus equal to 8. So this s1 is the slack variable for this case only. Okay, so you have the concept of slack variable. Now one more thing is there. I will tell you about the minimization problems, what we are doing. There is a term known as surplus variable. Okay, say we have like this one, 15x1 plus 25x2 greater than equal to 300. Okay, so in this case we have greater than equal to sign. Okay, now 15x1 plus 25x2 minus s2 can be equal to 300. So we don't know the s2 value. But in this case, as this is greater than, we have to minus s2. This is known as surplus variable. This is the case of minimization. Okay, but as we are not dealing with minimization problem, we have only maximization problem. But you have to have a basic idea or basic knowledge about the slack variable which are using in the maximization problem, and this is the surplus 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 variable which are using in the minimization case. Okay, so now one more thing I would like to tell you about this one. Say we have to add an extra variable for this case, minimization case, that is 25 plus 25x2 minus s2 plus a2 equal to 300. Now what is this a2 means and why it has arrived? Now this a2 is known as artificial variable. And what does that mean? Why artificial variable is needed? As because this say we have this one 15x1 plus 25x2 is somewhat greater than 300 by this amount, say s2. Okay. Now if we put x1 and x2 equal to 0 in this particular equation, x1 and x2 equal to 0, we will get s2 equal to how much? S2 equal to minus 300. Okay. Now we already assumed that x1, x2, these are the non-negative constants. In the previous classes I have shown you. Okay. We have to take these assumptions. Now in order to keep these variables non-negative, so we have to introduce another variable that is known as artificial variable. Okay. So this is all about slack variable and the concept of surplus variable and concept of artificial variable. Okay. Now let us come to the simplex method. We will start with the problem and gradually we will show how to solve this particular simplex problem. Let us take a problem. Say we have a problem, maximum or maximize z equal to 3x1 plus 5x2. Okay. Say subject to constant, that is a constant x1 less than equal to 4, 2x2 less than equal to 12, 3x1 plus 2x2 less than equal to 18. Okay. Now these are the main constants. Okay. Main constants you can write. Now again you can write x1, x2 should be greater than equal to 0, which is known as non-negative constants. Okay. Now we have to find z max, as this is maximization problem and this is the profit, so we have to find z max at x1 and x2. So we have to find x1 and x2, that is the best optimal solution at this particular points. Okay, corner points. So this x1 and x2 are known as the main variables, or you can say the decision variables. Okay. Now we have to write LPP. Again we have to write this structure in the form of an LPP. Okay. How to write? I will show you. Let us say this is x1 less than equal to 4. This is the inequality. So we can write this inequality as I already told you about the concept of slack variable. We can write this as maximize z 3x1 plus 5x2 can be written as subject to x1 plus s1 equal to 4, 2s2 plus s2 equal to 12, 3x1 plus 2s2 plus s3 equal to 18, and x1, x2 greater than equal to 0. Now this s1, s2 and s3 are known as, these are the slack variables. Okay, these are the slack variables. Now if you see, this is number 1 equation, this is 2 equation, and this is 3 equation. So number of equation, you can say number of equation is 3. Okay, but number of variables, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number of extra variable is 5 minus 3, 2. Now, say we can use hit and trial method, like say let us put x1 equal to 0. Okay, so putting x1 equal to 0, we will get s1 equal to 4, and again putting x2 equal to 0, we will find s2 equal to 12. So I can write it for you. Putting x1, we will get s1 equal to 4, s2 equal to 12, and again from this equation we can get s3 equal to 18. Okay, so these are the hit and trial method, you can say. Okay, these are the non-basic variables and these are the basic variables, you can say. Okay, or these are the basic variables, and these are the non-basic variables. Okay, now similarly, if we put s1 as 0 or s2 as 0, okay, or x1 s1 as 0, we can have different optimal solution. Now putting all these values on z, this z, okay, we can have solution of z. Okay, this is one method of solution in hit and trial method. So number of method for this particular solution problem, you can say number of ways. How much will be number of ways by hit and trial? You can say 5 variables, putting 2 at a 0, say 5c2, that is 10 ways, you can say. So number of solution will be 10, but we have to find the optimal, as this is optimization technique. So we have to find the optimal, or you can say the best solution. Okay, that's why we need to follow the simplex method, that we are going to follow simplex method. Okay, in simplex method, in short, I can tell you what we do. Actually, in simplex method, we have to make a first table, say we have to make a first table, or you can say it is a first solution, or you can say initial, basic, feasible, solution. So this is the first table. Okay, in this table you will get z equals to 0 all time, every time you are going to have z equal to 0 in the first table. Okay, next you have to do iteration. Okay, after first table you have to do second table, then you have to third table, then you have to perform this iteration ultimately up to the optimal solution. Okay, so you have to operate as much as required, the number of iterations. Okay, now the final table, after the iterations, the final table as obtained is known as optimal table. Optimal table, where value of z will be maximum. Okay, so this table, what we will be going to do is known as iteration. Okay, search or iteration, you can say. This table is known as search or iteration. Now let us start with the problem or solution. Okay, now we have to draw the first table. Now the first table, it says it always starts from origin. As you have seen in my previous video, while solving LPP with graphical method, we have seen the first corner methods. The first corner point is always this is the origin point. Then it will have to move in this direction or in this direction. Okay, that was in the case of graphical. So first table of this simplex method also starts from origin only. That means the value of z will be 0, because the x1 and x2 value will be 0 here. Okay, so let us write the equation for LPP. Maximum z equal to 3x1 plus 5x2 plus s1 plus s2 plus s3. These are the slack variables, okay? And that is, I write previously, x1 plus s1 equal to 4 and x2, 2x2 plus s2 equal to 12. Next we have 3x1 plus 2x2 plus s3 equal to 18, and x1 comma x2 should be greater than equal to 0. Okay. Now this equation can be written in this form also. Let me write in this different form. Okay. This remains same. Say this one, I will write it here. Okay. Say I write it here. Okay. Maximize z equal to 3x1 plus 5x2 plus s1 plus s2 plus s3, and it is subjected to this one. Now look carefully, this one, how to write 0 into no, first one is x1. Okay, so we will write in this form 1 into x1. I can write this one 1 into x1 plus 0 into x2, as this having no x2, so I can write 1 into s1. I can write as is s1 plus 0 into s2. I can write plus 0 into s3. I can write equal to 4. So there is no problem writing in this way. Okay. Now for this second equation I can write 0 into s1, as it have no s1, plus 2 into s2. I can write plus 1 into s2 plus 0 into s1 plus 0 into s3 equal to 12. Okay. Next I can write 3 into s1 plus 2 into s2 plus 1 into s3. I can write plus 0 into x1 plus 0 into s2 plus 0 into s1. I can write equal to 18. So there is no problem writing this particular constants in this way. Okay. Now this will help you to construct the simplex table, the first table, very easily. Now let us construct the first table. Okay, I'll just simply remove this, as because I will be needing more space for constructing the table. So first table, this is the I can say it is the first table. Okay, the first table we have to write in this way. See, first is the basic. It will be the Cj value over here. This will be RHS value. Next we have to write the decision variables and the slack variables as well. Okay, S3, S1, S2, S3. Okay. Now, and here it will be C1. Okay, this one. Now we have to write the basic variables. I already told you S1, S2, S3 are the basic variables, so I will write it over here. S1, S2, S3. Okay. Now this is the RHS value. What does that mean? RHS value means the values at the RHS side. There is a right hand side. There is a maximum value, or you can say the availability of the resources. That is the 4, 12, 18. Okay. So just write it over here. 4, 12, 18. Okay. Now for this C1, S1 is C1 value. For S1 we have 0 value. S3, S2, S3 all are 0 value. Okay. Now under x1 we have to write, look, for x1 we are having 1. Okay, this is 1. Okay, you can see from here. For x2 we are having 0. Okay, this is the first equation. 4, corresponding 4, we are writing these values. Okay, x3, sorry, this will be not x3 over here. Sorry, we have no x3 over here. Sorry, my mistake. We are having x1, x2 and s1, s2 and s3 only. Okay, no x3 is there. So let us S1 is 1, S2 is 0, S3 is 0. Okay. Now write similar way. X1 is 0, then we are having 2, then we are having 1, then 0, then 0. For this one we are having 3, 2, 0, 0, 1. Okay. Now the next step is to write down the ZJ. Okay. So ZJ is, we will calculate ZJ. I will let you know how to calculate ZJ. And third one, next one is Cj minus Zj value. We also have to write over here. Okay. Now, in the top one for Cj, we have to write the coefficient values of this objective function. Okay, 3, 5, and this one. Sorry, this will be 0 into S1, 0 into S2, and 0 into S3. Okay. So you can write the coefficient of x1 is 3, for x2 is 5, for s1 is 0, 0, and 0. Okay, no problem. Now the next step is to find the ZJ value. Look carefully, the ZJ value is we have to calculate ZJ value for each and every column. Okay, let me give it a separation boundaries so that you will better understand. Okay, by this way. Okay, now look, for ZJ value we have to calculate for each and every column. Okay, for calculating ZJ value we have to multiply particular this column's value with Ci value, and we have to add them up, like 4 into 0 plus 12 into 0 plus 18 into 0. Okay, so that will give you summation of this all 0, give you 0. Similarly, you can see it will come all 0 as because they are 0. So all zeros, summation will be 0 only. Okay. Now Cj minus Zj, how to calculate Cj minus Zj? Cj are these values. Okay. For this it will remain 0 only. For this one, 3 minus 0. So 3, then 5, then 0, 0, 0, and 0. 5 minus 0. This is the Cj value and this is Zj value. So you can see Zj is 0 and Cj is 3. So 3 minus 0, 3, 5 minus 0, 5, and 0 minus 0 all comes here. So I think you have understand how to calculate or how to draw the first table in simplex. Okay. Now the next step says, in the first step you can see the Zj value is 0. As I was early I was telling that in the first table, in graphical method also they start from the origin. So similarly in simplex method also they will start from origin. So Zj value will be 0. Okay. Now we have to find the we have to check whether this table is optimal or not. Okay. Look, this value Cj minus Zj value will give you the optimal solution. Will tell you the optimal solution. Okay. Here Cj value is maximum in x2. Look, x2. Cj minus Zj value. So we will try to enter this particular x2 into this solution only. Okay. This x2 variable we have to enter into the solution. Now for checking optimality, what I was telling you, there is an important point I should tell you. What is the method of checking optimality? How could you know that this table is optimal or not? Okay, so just note it down. It is very important. I will write it over here. Look, optimal check, you can say. Okay, for checking of optimality you have to check Cj minus Zj value. If it gives positive value, say positive, that means Z can have a greater or higher value or more optimal value, you can say. But if it is coming negative, that means Z value will decrease now, from so on. Okay, so that means it is optimal now. In case it comes 0, that means Z will remain constant. Okay, so our aim here is, what is our aim? this is a maximization problem. Our aim is to maximize Z. Okay, that means we have to find up to which table Z value comes positive. After receiving Z value, Cj minus Z value as negative, we will stop there, as because it will be the most optimal solution. Okay, so you just keep in mind up to the table when we reach Cj minus Zj value as negative, we have to stop the iteration there only. Okay, so this is very important optimal check. This you have to keep in mind always. Okay, now this table for this table I can give you the example. For this table we are having, this is plus, this you can see these are the positive values. Okay, so these are the positive, that means this table can be more optimal also. So I can say as long as table has Cj minus Zj has positive values of the variables, we have to continue to iterate. We have to search. That means we have to search. Okay, that means we have to further construct a new table. We have to construct a new table. Okay, so when all the variable of Cj minus Zj value becomes negative, then we will have optimal solution. That is the basic thing, you know. Now to calculate or construct new table, we have to perform or we have to know some basic terms. Okay, so I will write it over here. Here you have to make another table, you know. This you can say theta. This theta represents, I will write it over here. This theta represents replacement ratio. Replacement ratio. Okay, so what is the value of how to calculate theta? Theta, this replacement ratio can be calculated as RHS value by, you know, key column. Now we don't know key column what is, but you know RHS value. Okay, RHS value, you know, this is the RHS value, but you don't know the key column. So how to find the key column? Let us see. Look, there are some terms. I will write it over here. These are the, you know, these are always zero for basic variable. These are the basic variables. Okay, x1, s1, s2, s3. These are the basic variables. So these are always zero for basic values, always zero. Okay, now this thing you can say, these are the basic terms you should know before solving simplex. This thing, this is known as, you can say as canonical form or identity matrix. Identity matrix. Okay, you can see over here. Sorry, it should be, I have done a mistake. Sorry, this should be 0 and this should be 1. Okay, then only it will become a. Now for your clarification, I can recheck it over. Now look, from this equation that I already have written, now you can check it from here. Look, it gives 1x1 0x2 1s1 plus 0s2 plus 0 into s3 equal to 4. So corresponding values I have written over here. x1 is 1 0, x2 1, s1 0 0. Okay, for the second one which I had mistaken previously, look, x1 is 0, 2x2. Okay, 2x2. Now s2 is 1, s2 is 1, s1 is 0. Okay, so s1 is 0 and s3 will be 0. So similarly you can recheck it. Okay, now let us know how to calculate this one, last column. Okay, this is the theta, or you can say this is the replacement ratio. You know, this is the replacement ratio, theta. So how to calculate replacement ratio? You know, I have already told you, to calculate replacement ratio you have to divide the RHS value by key column. RHS value by key column, that is the RHS value by key column. We have to find the key column. Now this is the key column. Okay, so you can see this one is the key column. Okay, so for this particular row, what is the value? You can see key column corresponding key element in this particular row is 0. So value of theta for this row will be how much? 4 by, I can write 0, 4 by 0, 12 by 2, 18 by 2. Okay, so it gives you infinity. It gives you 12 by 2, that is 6. This gives you 18 by 2 equal to 9. Now from this particular column, that is the theta or replacement ratio, you have to find the least positive value. Just keep in mind, you have to find the, like here only you have to calculate the maximum positive value. For this column you have to find the least positive value, that is this one is least positive value. Okay, least positive value is 6. So corresponding the row of this least positive value will be the, will be the key row. So this is the key row, you can say. Okay, now at the intersection of key column and key row we will have this one. Okay, will be the, you can say this is the pivot element. Pivot element, we are having 2 as pivot element. Okay, so in order to construct the second table or second iteration, we have to find the key column, we have to calculate this replacement ratio column. From there this replacement ratio, we have to find the least positive value, that is 6 over here. Okay, corresponding this value, this will be the key row, and where the key row and key column meets, or intersection of the key column and the key row, gives you the pivot element. That pivot element for this particular problem is 2. Now we have to calculate the second table. Let us calculate the second table. Now for calculation of the second table, I can write it over here. Say this is the second table. Okay, this is the second table. Okay, now say this is S3, this is S2, this is S1, this is X2, this is X1, and say this is Cj. Cj value will be here, and RHS value. Now due to restrictions of space, I have to shift it over here. Now I have written the same table as of this one, but only one change is over here. You can see it over here. I will write the basic values. This S1, and this will be this will be S2, and this will be S3 as earlier, but this particular row has been changed to S2. Why? Because see, in this case this was the entering variable, you can see, corresponding to this key column. So entering variable will be X2. Okay, so X2 will enter where? Corresponding to the key row, that is this one. This one is the corresponding key row. So X2 will enter in this particular solution, and in which place it will enter? In this particular row, that is the key row. Okay, so I have written X2 over here. Okay, and everything remains same as it is. Now we have to put the values accordingly. Now how to put the values? Okay, so look, for this particular X2, that is the key row, we have the formula of, I will write it over here. For X2, we have the formula of key row by pivot element. Okay, for X2. Okay, now for the rest of the element, I can write it over here. For the rest of the element, it will be old number or old value you can say minus key row into key column by pivot element. Okay, this key row and key column should be the values of the corresponding key row and corresponding key column. Okay, let us see how to construct it. Look, first we will construct x2. Okay, so how to construct the x2? Now it says key row by pivot element. So key row is this one, so we have to divide the key row, this key row, with pivot element. So first one is 12 and the pivot element is 2. So we will write 12 by 2, that is 6 over here. Okay, now second one is 0 by 2, which will give you 0. So 2 by 2 will give you 1. Then 0 by 2 will give you 0. 1 by 2 will give you half. Okay, next 0 by 2 give you 0. Okay, so we have completed constructing the key row. Okay, that is the value of x2. Now for the rest of the element we have to follow this rule. For the rest of the element, old value minus key row into key column by pivot element. So let us take this one, 4. So 4 is the old value minus key row. Corresponding value of key column is 0 and corresponding value of key row is 12. So these two have to multiply. 0 into 12 by pivot element, that is 2. So 0 into 12 gives you 0, by 2 also 0. So 4 minus 0 will remain 4. Okay, now for this one again corresponding 0, corresponding 0. So 1 minus 0 will remain 0. Okay, next one you can see 0. Okay, so this is the key column. Okay, so you can also calculate old value is 0. Okay, corresponding key row is 2, key column is 0. Okay, so this remains 0 only. Okay, similarly you can calculate for this one, s1 old value is 1 minus key row, corresponding key row is 0 into key column. Okay, key column is 0, so 0 remains 0. 1 minus 0 remains 1. Okay, no problem. Next x2, s2 is 0, old value, so old value 0, so obviously it will remain 0 only. Similarly s3 0 only. Okay, now come to this, we have completed this two. Now come to this one. Okay, so for this one we'll have 18 old value, so 18 minus corresponding column value and row value. So 12 and this one is 2, corresponding row value, corresponding column value. So old value that will be 18 minus key row into key column, key row 12 into 2, corresponding key row value. Okay, by pivot element is 2, so that will give you 18 minus 12, that is 6. Okay, so you will write 6 over here. Okay, now for this one 3, corresponding 2 into 0, so 0, so old value is 3, so 3 minus 0 gives you 3. Okay, now for this next one 2, so 2, for 2 what will be the value? 2 is the old value. Okay, so 2 is the old value, you can write as here only 2 minus corresponding key row and key column, key row and key column into 2, you can say by 2. So 2 minus 2 will give you 0 only. So this will be 0. Next 0 0 1, if you calculate it will be coming as 0 only, 0 only, and this will come as minus 1. Now let us now calculate the value of theta here. Okay, so for theta we know how to calculate theta, RHS value by key column. Okay, so we have to find the key column first. Let us find the key column first. No, first we have to do the ZJ and CJ value. CJ minus ZJ value we have to calculate. So let us calculate the Cj and Zj and Cj minus Zj value. Okay. So look, this value Ci, okay, Ci value will remain as it is. S1 for S1 it will be 0. For S2 it will be, S2 for S2 it will be 5. Okay. For S3 it will remain same. Now calculate Zj for this particular, table, second table. Okay. So second table, it is coming 4 into 0 plus 5 into 6, 30 plus 6 into 0. So it will remain 30, For this one, 1 into 0, 5 into 0, 3 into 0. It will remain 0. Okay. For this one, 0 into 0 plus 5 into 1 plus 0. So it will remain 5 only. Okay. Now for this one, 1 into 0, 5 into 0 and 0 into 0. Okay. So this will remain 0. Now for this one, 0 into 0 plus 5 into half plus 0 into 0. So it will remain 5 by 2. And this one will remain as it is 0. Now calculate Cj. So Cj value I will write it over here as 3, 5, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Now Cj minus Zj. Cj, this one is the Cj. Cj value is this one and Zj. So Cj is 3 minus 0. Okay. So it will remain 3. Okay. 5 minus 5. It will give you 0. 0 minus 0 will give you 0. 0 minus 5 by 2 will give you minus 5 by 2. 0 minus 0 will give you 0. Okay. This is 5. Okay. 5 by 2. Now, as because I have already earlier told you, if all the Cj minus Zj value comes negative, then it is the optimal table. But here is one positive also. So also this table is not, optimal. We have to go for another, iteration. There is the third table we have to construct. Now, the similar method we will apply to construct the third table. For constructing third table, we have to find the key column. So look, maximum positive value is this one. So this will be the entering variable, corresponding variable. X1 will be the entering variable, and this corresponding, column is known as the key column, you can say. Okay. So I will write it as this one is your key column, and next procedure we have to construct the theta column, that is the replacement ratio, you can say. So calculating replacement ratio, you have to divide the RHS value by key column. Okay. So first one will be 4 by 1 will give you 4. Okay. Next 6 by 0 will give you infinity. Next 6 by 3 will give you 2. Okay. So it will give you 2. So that means I have earlier told you the least positive value will be the our living variable. So this is the living variable, this, as because it has the least positive value, this one. Okay. So living variable will be S3. Earlier living variable was S2. Okay. So now S3 will be living variable, and entering variable will be corresponding key column, that is the X1. So X1 replace X3 in the next iteration table. Okay. Now for this one again you have to this is your this is your key row, and pivot element is this one. Okay. That is the 3 is the pivot element. Okay. So next for constructing next table, we have to again follow the same rule. That is, for constructing this particular row, here it will come as X1, as because it is the living one, and X1 is the entering one. So this column we have to construct using the formula of this particular value, key row value, by pivot element, and for the rest the old value minus corresponding key row into key column by pivot element. Okay. So I will construct the next table. Now based on the same formula which I have used to construct second table from first table, I have constructed this third table also using the same formula. You can check it by yourself at your home, or if you are facing any problem constructing this particular third table, you can always welcome to contact me or comment in the comment section. Okay. So after constructing the third table, that is the third iteration, using the same formula for this particular row, this was the living variable, and this was the entering variable. So I have written it over here. Look, S1 remains same, X2 S1, and it was a living, so X1 entering variable, and this one also remains the same, X1 X2 S1 S2 S3. Now after constructing this, we have calculated this particular key row by the same formula, dividing the key row by this pivot element. Okay, so 6 by 3, 2, 3 by 3, 1. Similarly, you can construct this total row. Now for this rest of the element, rest of the the row, I have calculated using the same formula, that is old value, that is say 4, minus, for particularly this, for calculating this value, how I have calculated, I will just show a particular value. So say this value I have, how I have calculated. So originally the old value was 4. Now corresponding value is 1, and corresponding key column value, okay, we have to take corresponding key column. So corresponding key column value is 1, and corresponding key row value is 6. So 4 minus 6 into 1 by pivot element, that is the 3. So 6 by 3 will give you 2. So 4 minus 2 will give you 2. Similarly, I have constructed the rest of the elements in the decision matrix, you can say. Okay, so last of all, I have calculated Zj and Cj minus Zj value. Look, Zj I have calculated like this: 2 into 0 plus 5 into 6 plus 3 into 2. So for this one we are getting 36, and for this one 0 into 0 plus 5 into 0 plus 3 into 1, that gives you 3. For this one 5 into 1, rest of this is 0, so 5. Okay, similarly I have constructed this all using the same value. Now Cj minus Zj value. Cj, look, 3 3 5 5, so these two comes 0 0, and 3 by 2, so 0 minus 3 by 2 gives you minus 3 by 2, 0 minus 1 gives you minus 1. Now look, what I was telling earlier, that Cj minus Zj value, when Cj minus Zj value comes either 0, all the values of Cj minus Zj row comes either 0 or negative, that means we are now in a optimal condition. Okay, so these all are either 0 or negative. So we can say at value x2 equal to 6 and x1 equal to 2. So x1 2 and x2 6, we are having the optimal table. For this we have to calculate the maximum value of the z also at this particular x2 and x1 value. Let us calculate. We had the previous solution, that was the equation maximus z equal to 3x1 plus 5x2. Okay, and rest was 0s1 plus 0s2 plus 0s3, so no need to put the values. So we will just calculate the value by putting x1 and x2. Okay, so 3 into 2 plus 5 into 6, which will give you 3 into 2 6 plus 5 into 6 30, so 36. So z max you can write is 36. So we are having maximum value, there is a maximum profit, you can say rupees 36 at x1 2 and x2 6. It is the best or optimal solution, you can say. Okay, one more thing. Now previously, in the previous video, in graphical solution, we have solved the LPP in a graphical way. Now let us compare this graphical method with this simplex one. You will have a better idea of what we were doing in this simplex idea only. Okay, look, in this particular problem, z equals to 3x1 plus 5x2, and these are the governor constraints, x1 less than equals to 4, 2x2 less than equals to 12, 3x1 plus 2x2 less than equal to 18, x1 x2 greater than equal to 0. When we plotted this all the constants, we got this type of graph only. Okay, you can see this is the second equation. Okay, and this is the third equation. Okay, this is the first equation, so I can write it over. This is the first, this is the second, this is the third. Okay, so when we plotted, we got these corner points, you can say these corner points. Okay, this one, this one, and this one. So first corner point was 0, 0. You can say this as the first table. of simplex, as because in the first table we were having z equals to 0. Okay, so this was the first table in the simplex. I am just comparing side by side the graphical solution and simplex solution. Now the second table, can you tell which one was the second table? This one, 0, 6. This one was the, you can say this one was the second table. And the third table, you can easily tell this one was the third table. Now, this was the feasible reason. Simplex has the tendency of only checking the corner points. It doesn't check the points inside this feasible. It only checks the corner points. And why did it proceeded in this, clockwise manner, not in this way? Because you can see from it here. Look, variable coefficient of x1 is 3, whereas coefficient of x2 is 5. This one is x2 and this one is x1. Okay, so if coefficient of the direction became clockwise, this one, because as coefficient of x2, coefficient of x2, this 5, is greater or larger than x1. That's why the simplex take a clockwise direction. Otherwise, if it had been the coefficient of x1 greater than coefficient of x2, then it would have been moved in a anti-clockwise way. So you can say from this particular diagram, the actual meaning of simplex, that simplex is also a kind of optimal solutions we are generally using in solving LPP. So you can easily correlate the simplex and graphical method in this particular way. You can see this was the first table at 0, 0. Then it moved to the second table 0, 6, where we will be getting this ZJ value as 30. Then it moved to the third point, that was 2, 6, where we got the optimal table and the maximum value of Z there was 36. Again, I can say you at this particular point using graphical solution we also get optimal solution or maximum value of Z at this particular point 2, 6. So this is all about, you can say, simplex, as well as you have the concept of simplex and graphical method side by side also. So I hope you have enjoyed, and now you can solve simplex method very easily. Or if you have any confusion or doubt, or you want to have one more class on a different problem on simplex, you can comment me. I will help you. Thank you.